Mary-Beth Gaskill is one of Red Dead Redemption 2's most quietly profound characters, blending innocence, intelligence, and a deep sense of belonging that makes her role in the van der Linde gang feel uniquely human. She's introduced as a pickpocket, orphaned early in life when her mother died of typhoid, making her street smart, but still incredibly kind-hearted. Thanks to her natural charm and nimble fingers, she's the perfect criminal. People don't even realize they've been duped until she's long gone with their money. Yet Mary-Beth is more than a petty thief. She's deeply intellectual and loves reading, often found with a romance novel in hand around camp. Her dream has always been to write. As the story unfolds, you sense she's not just stealing purses. She's gathering stories, emotions, fragments of life. In several missions, she actively helps the gang. She spots a lead for a train robbery, and during a stagecoach heist, she distracts the driver so Arthur and Sean can do their work. There's vulnerability too. In St. Denis, she witnesses the brutal consequences of gang violence, reacting with real grief when Kieran Duffy's body returns, showing her capacity for empathy even toward those on the fringes. Her bond with Arthur Morgan is among the most touching in the game. She listens when he unloads his fears, she reads with him, and she offers him comfort when his tuberculosis becomes a heavy burden. Their relationship feels pure. Not romantic baggage necessarily, but a genuine emotional connection. Fans often describe it as Arthur's most honest friendship, someone he can just be with. When she asks him to dance at one of the camp parties, it's not just playful. It hints at something deeper, a shared trust. As the gang unravels under Dutch's erratic leadership, Mary-Beth sees it happening and quietly makes her decision. She leaves the gang alongside Uncle Karen and Simon Pearson, not in dramatic rebellion, but as a calm exit, choosing a future beyond violence. That decision turns out to be wise. In the epilogue, by 1907, she's reinvented herself as a novelist under the pen name Leslie Dupont. She writes silly romances, as she puts it, but they sell, and she's content. In a poignant scene late in the game, John Marston meets her at a train station in Valentine. She gifts him one of her books, The Lady of the Manor, and they both reflect on the old days, the gang, Arthur, their shared history. That moment feels like closure. Mary-Beth becomes a symbol of hope and change. Someone who survived the chaos not by fighting, but by staying true to herself. What makes Mary-Beth so compelling is that she's not just the nice girl in the gang. She's a survivor with dreams, a thinker, a soft voice in a room full of guns. Her journey, from an orphan pickpocket to a writer laying down her life on paper, mirrors one of RDR2’s biggest themes. That redemption doesn't always come from violence, but from forgiveness and belief in a better future. Mary-Beth's charm lies in her ability to remain compassionate and clever in a world defined by violence and betrayal. She shows that strength doesn't always mean wielding a gun. Sometimes it's having the courage to follow your dreams. Morgan's relationship with Mary-Beth Gaskill in Red Dead Redemption 2 reveals a side of him that almost no one else in the gang ever sees. Vulnerability without expectation. Unlike Mary Linton, whose love represents a life Arthur can never have, Mary-Beth represents a life Arthur doesn't even think he deserves. Their connection is quiet, subtle, and easy to miss, but it plays a crucial role in Arthur's emotional arc. Mary-Beth is one of the youngest members of the van der Linde gang, and one of the few who isn't defined by violence or cynicism. She's a thief, yes, but she's also a romantic, a reader, and a dreamer. She believes stories matter. She listens. In camp conversations, she's often seen reading novels or talking about wanting more from life than running and hiding. Arthur notices this immediately. He treats her differently than almost everyone else, with gentleness instead of authority. What makes their relationship unique is that it's never romanticized or pushed into melodrama. Mary-Beth has a crush on Arthur early on, and Arthur is clearly aware of it. But Arthur never leans into that affection. He doesn't flirt aggressively, and he never tries to claim her attention. Instead, he deflects with self-deprecating humor or quiet kindness. That restraint says everything. Arthur knows who he is, and he refuses to pull Mary-Beth into a life he already regrets. Their camp conversations are some of the most revealing in the game. Mary-Beth asks Arthur about his past, his thoughts, his feelings, questions no one else bothers to ask. Arthur, usually guarded and sarcastic, answers honestly. He talks about fear, doubt, and the sense that he's wasted his life. Mary-Beth doesn't argue with him or try to fix him. She listens. That alone makes her one of the few people Arthur feels safe opening up to. Mary-Beth also functions as a moral contrast within the gang. As Dutch becomes more manipulative and paranoid and others grow hardened, Mary-Beth remains empathetic. She's disturbed by the gang's violence and openly wonders what will happen to them all. Arthur sees that awareness and respects it. He encourages her to leave the gang if she gets the chance, which is significant. Arthur rarely tells people to abandon loyalty. With Mary-Beth, he wants her free. This desire comes to a head later in the story when Arthur actively supports her leaving the outlaw life behind. He recognizes that she still has time, something he knows he no longer has. That realization hurts him, but he never resents her for it. If anything, helping Mary-Beth imagine a future beyond the gang gives Arthur a sense of purpose separate from Dutch's collapsing dream. In the epilogue, when John encounters Mary-Beth again, she's no longer a thief or a drifter. She's become a successful writer, publishing novels under her own name. This payoff is crucial. Mary-Beth's dream wasn't foolish or naive, it was simply incompatible with the gang's world. Arthur never gets to see her success, but his faith in her is validated. Someone he cared about escaped. Mary-Beth's role in Arthur's life isn't about romance, tragedy, or regret. It's about recognition. She sees Arthur as more than an enforcer or a killer, and Arthur sees in her the possibility of a life untouched by violence. Their relationship shows that Arthur's capacity for love and care was always there. He just chose to protect it by never acting on it.